Yo, what's up guys, it's Josh back with another video and welcome to the KeepItTechie channel. If you're new here, I make videos to help you learn Linux and jump into the tech field with confidence. Now today we're checking out a cool little program called Ghostty. And yes, this is a terminal emulator. And you've probably been hearing about it, but I want to get it installed on Orch, or at least show you guys how to install it on Orch. But before we get going, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And also ring that notification bell so you don't miss any future Linux content. So here's the plan for today. I'll give you a little background of what Ghostty is, why it might be useful, and then we'll go through installing it on the Orch Linux and show you how to use it, some tips, tricks, basic practices, and then we can wrap up from there. Now, the idea is for you to follow along and give this a try yourself. And if you're new to Orch or new to messing with custom terminals, don't worry, I'll keep things clear and simple. So let's get it. All right, so what is Ghostty? Simply put, Ghostty is a cross-platform modern terminal emulator that aims to combine speed, features, and a native look and feel. It was created by Mitchell Hashimoto, yes, the same person behind the other well-known open source tools, as a side project that has grown seriously. And you can definitely go over and check out his GitHub page. He has a lot of awesome tools over there. And I'll of course have a link down in the description of the video so you can get to Ghostty as well as some of his other tools on GitHub. Now, why does that matter to you? Well, a lot of terminal emulators make you pick like native look versus performance or rich features versus simplicity. Ghostty says, what if I could give you all three? According to the docs, that's their goal. Now, of course, every tool has trade-offs. We'll look at those, but if you're someone who spends a lot of time in a terminal, which you probably are, trying Ghostty may be worth it. Now, let me switch over to the documentation right fast. And I just wanted to talk about why you might want to use Ghostty, especially on Orch. For one, the performance is excellent. Ghostty uses GPU acceleration and aims to be in the same class as the fastest terminals available today. It also has that native feel, like on Linux, it uses GTK, so it looks and behaves like a first-class application rather than a hacked-on terminal window. Now, it has a lot of cool features, things like tabs, split panes, theme support, custom key bindings, modern terminal protocols are all available. And one cool thing about it is standardized. It supports a wide array of terminal control sequences. So normal shell editors like Vim, NeoVim, multiplexers like tmux, etc. all function as expected. And then on Orch particularly, the install is straightforward. We'll get into it, in a minute. And being on Orch, you likely like staying on the cutting edge. Ghostty fits that mindset because they also have the Git package in the AUR, which you have access to. So it's time to roll up our sleeves and walk you guys through installing Ghostty. Let's get to it. What's up, y'all? If you've been watching my channel for a minute, you already know I stay talking about Linux. And if you're looking for a solid, reliable enterprise Linux distro, let me put you on to Rocky Linux. This is the go-to replacement for CentOS, and it's built for the community, by the community. It's got everything you need for a stable and secure Linux experience, whether you're running servers, home labs, or enterprise workloads. And the best part, it's backed by CIQ, making sure it stays rock solid for the long haul. So if you're tired of these companies pulling a plug on your favorite distros, Rocky Linux is where you need to be. And I've covered Rocky Linux before, and trust me, it's worth checking out. So head over to rockylinux.org to learn more and get started. Keep it techie. Peace. All right, so I'm logged into my Orch Linux desktop. This is GNOME installed. And let's go down and get Ghostty installed. So all we have to do is go to our start menu. Let's open up a terminal right fast. And I'll show you guys the difference between this GNOME terminal as well as the Ghostty terminal once we get it installed. So let's go down and zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it a little better. There we go. And we can make this guy a little bit bigger, so it'll fill up the screen some more. Now, all you have to do is type sudo pacman. And then first thing you want to always do, this is good practice, make sure your system is up to date. So you run a sudo pacman -SYU, and this will check to see if you have any updates for your system. It'll sync the repository basically, or the database of the repository and see if there are any dependencies, and if there are, they'll download those updates and then update your system. Like right here we got, let's see what we got, Orch keyring and free glute, whatever that update is. So we'll run through those right fast. All right, so we're good to go. We fully up to date. We don't need to reboot or anything, but let's go on and install it. And like I said, there are two ways to install it. You can install it from the main repository, which is actually under the extra repository, and the docs say you can install it via, sudo Pacman and then -S and then Ghostty. And I'm gonna tab it out just to make sure it pop up, and there we go. So Ghostty, that's how you spell it. And let's go down and run through the install right fast. So let's put Y there, and it shouldn't take too long to install, but I'll be back when it finished. And boom, that was quick. And just to show you guys a little bit more, let's say you want to install it from the AUR and you have an AUR helper on your system, like Yay, that's the one I typically see. So Yay, and really if you have one of these helpers installed, then you know how to get things from the AUR, and so you probably already know how to use it. But just so you know, you can type Yay, S, and then there's a Ghostly package -git. That's the package name that you can download from the AUR, and this is the most up-to-date version of it. It comes with more risk because it's less tested code. So I always recommend the stable version or the stable package from the official repository. That's your safest starting point, which we have installed on here. So we're not gonna mess around with the Git package. Just wanted to show you guys that you do have that option if you want to. And now we could just exit our terminal. We don't need it anymore. And actually I should have left it open, but it's fine. We can go down and open up console again, and then also open up, see if we can find it right fast. So there we go, Ghostty, boom. And at this point you should see a terminal window, possibly with the default settings, but you can do some configuration, which I'm going to get into in a minute. But I want to at least show you guys the differences between like GNOME terminal, just to show you guys the responsiveness and also show you some of the menu options. And so let's just go through a little bit of the menu options that you have. So this is obviously adding a new tab similar to the X over here or the plus over here. That'll add a new tab. If you click here, that'll add a new tab, but you can specify where you want it. So if you want it below or left, however you want it. So you see how we got one down below, so that's cool. We got two up top, one down below, however you want to set up your. As you can see, the shortcuts, they're pretty simple. So Shift Control E, Shift Control O. So down is Shift Control E, Shift Control O, that is to your right. And let's see, let's go over here, and if you click in here, this will open up the tab, so you can create a new tab that way as well. This will show you all your tabs. So like if you got multiple tabs, so let me make one down here at the bottom as well. So let's just run, I don't know, htop or something. Let's run htop down here, and then I don't know, let's run an ls of our home directory or something. Yeah, and as you can see, those tabs are totally different. Like this one has the tab at the bottom, and this one has the tab at the top, and this one is a full tab. So you can add one here down below on this tab. So you can have multiple terminal instances within each one of these tabs, which is super cool. So if you hit here, that'll take you between the two tabs. You can close out a tab if you don't need it anymore. Like let's say we don't need that one no more and we want to make that one the main, that's fine. Now let's go through a little bit of the menu. So let's go down and cancel that. Let's go and close that right fast, and let's go up here to our top. So if we hit the hamburger up here at the top, so you got copy paste, new window, new tab, close tab, all the options that you just hit. You can split all your splits over here as well. Clear, reset your terminal if you need to. Command palette, terminal inspector, open configuration. So this allows you to open up the configuration or actually create one, because I don't think it creates one by default from what I remember. And let's go down and just close that terminal now. That way we got this one fully, and we don't need this other tab. Let's go down and close that one out. We don't need it anymore because I want to go down and show you guys the configurations. Let me show you guys how to configure it. So under our home directory, we should have a configuration folder. And the only way to see it is if you run ls-la, and let's just put H in there as well. That way we can see everything that's in here. And you see this config directory? This is where your Ghostty configuration file will go. It'll go under a Ghostty directory under there. So all you have to do is type nano, and then we get .config, and then Ghostty. I'm gonna tab it out, and then It should be an empty directory, and all you have to do is type config, and the format that it's written in is the TOML format. And let's go down and do a couple configuration changes. Like for instance, we could set our theme, and I kind of pre-configured this system just so I can have, you know, some stuff to play with. So the TOML language is super simple. You know, you don't have to worry about indentions or spaces and all that stuff, kind of like the YAML. Everything is just straight up and down. All you have to do is put a space in between, you know, the equal sign, and then specify what you want. I'm gonna do mono, and then what is it, soda? I think that's the one I put on there. And then also let's try like a font family. I think I got some nerd fonts on there, the JetBrains, I believe. So let's roll with that. So let's go that font family. So it's font dash family. And then let me stop for a second and show you guys where I'm getting this from, because I went through and just wrote out my own configuration just to show you guys a demo real quick. But if you go into their documentation page and you go to configuration overview, where is it? Yeah, this kind of breaks down your configuration file and all your options. Let's see, where is the other option? So option, yeah, here we go. So here are our option references. So this tells you what to actually put in there, and then what to, you know, actually type next to it. So you click on whatever you need or whatever you're trying to adjust in there, and it's a whole bunch of options like the environment, commands, links, all that stuff up in there. So you can go through there and figure out how you want this thing to look, so, or how you want it set up. Now just go back to this. Let's go on and set our font family. What I'm gonna do is just use that, like I said, that JetBrains. Let's go and put that in there, and then I believe it's Jets Brain Mono NL, I think, what, nerd font. I believe that's the one I want to use. Yeah, let's roll with that. And then let's see, you can modify the size, so font size. So we can go with, I don't know, let's just bump it up a little bit. Let's go with 13. That's fine. And with numbers, you ain't got to worry about no quotes. It's just the text. And then what I recommend you do is put some notes in here if you want to. It's definitely beneficial. That way you can know what you're doing when you do it. And then like you can put, this is all my appearance stuff up here at the top. And let's go down and spell it right. And I got a double R in there, appearance. And then we could just put 2 dashes there. That's fine. And then right here, this will be our cursor. So we can specify like our cursor or something, I don't know. And you just put whatever you want, however you want it. And they have options in the documentation for you to definitely check out. So like cursor style, that's in there. And I just picked that randomly just to put something in here so you guys can, you know, see something different. And what we want to do is block. I'll just do block. Then like you can set your scroll back lines. That's like how many lines you can scroll back in the terminal. Like for instance, I'm gonna just put it in here. I ain't gonna create no notes or anything, but just scroll back. I think it's scroll back dash lines, and then we can go, I don't know, we can go lines 20,000, 30,000, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just set it to 10,000, and that's fine. Let's go on and save this right fast. Boom. And now all you have to do is we can go under here and reload our configuration, and this will change everything for us. So let's go down and hit ignore, and then we can go back in here into our configuration. And actually, let's do it here. Let's go back in here, and we can do it this way. And then we can reload it again. And that's why you couldn't see the actual cursor right there on that one, because I messed up with configuration. And oh, it's still wrong. Unknown field. Hold on, I think I did something wrong. Hold on, let's hit ignore. I must be doing something a little wrong. Let's make sure. So cursor style, block. And then I don't have to put no quotes on here. So scroll back lines. Let's change to 20,000, but space. And that's spelled correctly. No, it should be scroll lines. And actually, this will give me a chance to go look in the documentation so you guys can see it. And I'll do it with you guys so you can see how to figure it out right fast. So if you go over here on the right, we can scroll up and down. Let's see, what is it? Scroll. Let's see, scroll back. Let's see. It should be in alphabetical order, but not really. Hit control find, and then let's search for it. From the last time I had it, I played around with Ghostty. I guess they took that out. All I have is scroll to the bottom. So maybe that's scroll back lines is it may be taken out of this version of, oh, scroll back limit. That's what it's called. So I was using it wrong. So it's scroll back limit. Let's go back into our configuration or switch back over to our terminal. I'm glad I did that just so you guys can, you know, see how to fix that stuff. So it is a limit and line. So let's go 20,000. That's fine. Let's go on and save that X, and then That's why it was saying it didn't know what that was. So if we reload our configuration, it should be good. So yeah. And then you guys can't see that until we start, I don't know, messing around with a bunch of stuff in the terminal where you can go back like 20,000 lines. So that's just a simple configuration file that I wanted to show you guys. All right, so let me give you guys some best practices for a Ghostty. You definitely want to back up your configuration files as much as possible. That way you don't lose them. You know, obviously once you tune Ghostty, you know, you definitely want to have a backup of that configuration file. Make sure you store it with your dot files or in a dot file repo if you have one. That way you could quickly replicate your setup on another machine. Now you also want to keep your font comfortable. This is just a recommendation from my end because I'm sitting there looking at code a lot of times during the day, especially me being a database administrator in my full-time job. So I'm looking at like a lot of lines, Excel spreadsheet type stuff, you know, and you just gotta make sure you keep your fonts comfortable, because staring at, you know, those windows for hours, you know, pick a font that's readable, you know, choose line heights and padding that reduce eye strain, because Ghostly has that ability to tweak these parameters, which is a plus. And also use your splits, you know what I'm saying? Splits are powerful. Avoid going crazy like I got up on the screen right now. But if you have too many panes, you may lose track. I recommend 2 to 3. For most workflows, use full screen when you need to focus, you know what I'm saying? So that's a recommendation as well I wanted to give you guys. Now, update regularly, because Ghostly is still relatively new compared to like older terminals. So updates may bring new features or bug fixes. And on Orch, you can get those updates via the Pacman command. So just make sure you run your updates, and I recommend you do that on, if you have an Orch system anyway, just run your regular updates. That way you keep your system up to date. You ain't got to worry about running into any issues in the future. All right, so that wraps it up. We installed Ghostty on Arch Linux. We explored the features. We saw how it works in a real workflow, and we went over some tips and best practices. My verdict, if you're on Arch, you use the terminal heavily, and you're open to trying something new, then Ghostty is absolutely worth a look. It gives you speed, modern UI, and a native experience all in one package. And if you decide to switch, give yourself a little time with it. Tweak the configuration to your liking. You know, play with the themes, get comfortable. One of the things I love about Linux and open source is the ability to pick your tools, shape them to your workflow, and share your setup with the community. You know what I'm saying? If you do try Ghostty and like it or run into issues, drop a comment down below. You know, I love to hear your experience and help troubleshoot if needed. But before I go, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the KeepItTechie channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you'll get those notifications when the next tutorial drops. Now, if you found this video helpful, share it with someone else who uses Linux. The community grows stronger when we help each other out. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. Make sure you keep exploring Linux, keep pushing your skills, and as always, stay curious and keep it techie. See you guys in the next one. Yo, what's up, y'all? Listen, if you've been sitting there thinking about making a move, let me tell you, tech is where it's at. I don't care where you're coming from, whether you've got a degree, a GED, or just pure hustle. There's room for you in this game. You see, tech is more than just keyboards and code. It's solving problems, creating opportunities, and building the future. You already have what it takes, because tech doesn't care where you start. It cares where you're willing to go. You can teach yourself Linux, learn Python, break into cybersecurity, or even launch your own app. And the resources are out here for free. And yes, you heard me, free. Now, yeah, it's gonna take effort. You'll have to grind, but think about this. The time is gonna pass anyway. So why not invest it in a skill that'll change your life? I mean, tech doesn't just pay the bills, it opens doors to freedom, stability, and generational wealth. So stop doubting yourself, start small, stay consistent, and keep building. Because this isn't just a career, it's a movement. And guess what? You belong here. So let's get it, because the future is yours to build. Keep it techie.